Welcome to the Sand Science Experience, your source for the most current and impactful research and preprints in science. If you like what you hear, please do hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps support the Sand Science Experience and allows us to bring you more fascinating science. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something, well, truly groundbreaking in biology. It's a new AI foundation model called TranscriptFormer. Imagine trying to map every single cell type across all life, understand its function, maybe even predict its behavior through, 1.5 billion years of evolution? That's the really audacious goal TranscriptFormer is starting to tackle. Think of it maybe like a virtual instrument or even a Google Maps for cells, one that can navigate these cellular landscapes across really diverse species. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack how this revolutionary model works, what incredible insights it provides, and why it's really poised to transform our understanding of cellular biology and disease. So, okay, how do they even build something with this kind of universal understanding? The TranscriptFormer model was trained on just an unprecedented amount of data. We're talking up to 112 million cells from 12 different species and encompassing a staggering 1.53 billion years of evolutionary history. I mean, that scale alone is pretty hard to wrap your head around.
It really is. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how it moves beyond just, classifying data. Mm-hmm. TranscriptFormer isn't just some giant database. It's a generative model. Mm-hmm. So, much like a sophisticated language model, learns the underlying grammar of human speech, right? TranscriptFormer learns the fundamental probabilities of genes and their expression within a cell, which means it can effectively understand how a cell's transcriptomic profile, that's basically the complete set of RNA molecules expressed, its molecular fingerprint, how that profile is formed. And it does this, crucially, without being explicitly given labels for species or cell types during its pre-training phase. It really learns the inherent biological structure all by itself, implicitly.
That's incredible. Okay, so it's learning without these explicit labels. But what does this zero-shot capability, what does that really unlock for researchers in practice?
Right. Well, the zero-shot capability is astounding. It means the model can accurately classify cell types in species it has never seen before, even those separated by, vast evolutionary distances. For instance, it performs really robustly on species as evolutionarily distant as stony corals.
Stony coral, wow.
Yeah, which is over 685 million years removed from humans. And the TF Metazoa variant, that's the one trained on the most diverse range of species, it consistently outperformed the others, which really demonstrates that the sheer diversity of the input data, not just the raw quantity, is absolutely key to its remarkable generalization.
The ability to classify unseen species is just something else. How does it manage to generalize so effectively across such huge evolutionary gaps? And, beyond just classification, what else can it do with this knowledge?
That's where it gets truly powerful. It's not just about classifying. TranscriptFormer can perform zero-shot disease state identification in human cells.
Yeah.
For example, it accurately distinguished infected from uninfected cells in a COVID-19 lung dataset without being trained on COVID data specifically.
Okay, so it can spot disease states just from the general patterns it learned.
Exactly. This isn't just about labeling. It suggests the model captures these really subtle, maybe even novel shifts in transcriptional profiles that might indicate disease or progression or response to something. It means, instead of potentially years of lab work, a researcher could maybe get a quick initial hypothesis on a new disease mechanism just by, querying this model.
Wow. Okay. And I heard, perhaps most excitingly, you can actually prompt this model a bit like you would a generative AI, like a language model.
Yes, precisely. You can interact with it. It can predict gene-gene interactions, for instance. And it can even infer cell-type-specific transcription factors, those crucial proteins that control which genes get turned on or off. And the results are quite striking. The model's generated heat maps of transcription factor activity, they actually mirror empirical biological data very closely.
So it's not just guessing, it's actually learned the underlying rules.
It seems so. It confirms it has this deep internalization of complex gene regulatory networks. It's contextualized gene embeddings, which are basically numerical ways of representing genes that capture their meaning and relationships in context. They show it even learns nuanced information about cell type, tissue, even individual donor variations, all implicitly. It's like it truly gets the biological context.
So what does this all mean then for the bigger picture?
Well, stepping back, TranscriptFormer really represents a significant leap. A leap towards perhaps a unified generative cell atlas that transcends species boundaries. It's not just a repository of data, right? It's an interactive, queryable model, one that can potentially simulate complex cellular phenomena and offer real foundational support for in silico experimentation.
In silico, meaning experiments run on the computer.
Exactly. Virtual biological experiments, complementing or guiding lab work.
It's clearly a powerful foundation, but I assume the journey continues. What's next?
Oh, definitely. Future work will surely focus on expanding the diversity of species even further. Also, better integrating various kinds of data sets and maybe potentially predicting how cells respond to perturbations, how they react to drugs or environmental changes.
Imagine that. A future where we can virtually explore, maybe even predict, cellular behavior across the entire tree of life. Instantly comparing disease states across different species or testing drug responses virtually. This really could revolutionize medical discovery and, well, our fundamental understanding of evolution itself, giving us unprecedented insight into life's building blocks. That's all for this deep dive. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel to support the Sense Science Experience. We'll see you next time.